Welcome to another photo review video. Today I'm taking 20 images that you sent to the email that's here in the video description, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a critique, not only with photography in general, but also a little bit of stock photography in mind. Before we start, I want to thank everybody for sending these images. I know I've been sitting on images for a long time and catching up, but the more you send, the longer it's taking me to catch up. So I'm going to keep doing photo reviews, but if you want to send images, please only send one or two, or that's all I'm going to include in the video so that everybody has a chance of having their image critiqued. For the first photo, I have this portrait, someone traveling, looks like Nevada, maybe Red Rock Canyon or Valley of Fire, something. It looks familiar. The first thing I notice is that it's a scan. You can see here at the bottom there's distortion. I don't know if it was scanned from an old photo or from film. Unfortunately for stock, that's not gonna cut it. The quality is not there because of that distortion. The only thing I could say with this photo is a great memory, the lighting looks good, everything looks beautiful. It's a composition. There's too much sky and you're getting too close to her pant and her leg here at the bottom. Drop the camera a little bit and that would improve the composition a lot. As far as the stock photo, would it have potential if it got accepted? Maybe, probably. You know, travel photos, beautiful landscape in the background, the model looking at the sky. It could be used, but you know, as it is, it's not gonna get accepted. As a bestseller, I don't think so. As a photograph, I'm gonna say 3 out of 5. Composition could improve. And for stock, unfortunately, it's not gonna cut it. Next photo, now we have a cherry with a long dark shadow and over white background. Very creative, pretty image. I'm gonna say 3 out of 5. Stock photography is not as artistic. Try to keep that in mind. Stock photography is commercial and not the shadows and I mean, it looks beautiful, it looks great. But as a stock photo, I don't think it's gonna do that well if it gets accepted. The focus is spot on, everything looks good, the detail on the image is good. It could sell, I would try it. The clipping, there's a little bit of something here in the background. The clipping is a little rough. I could see here too that there was a little, maybe the shadow wasn't cleaned up exactly. Yeah, the clipping wasn't done properly. You can see here when it was not quite a fade, it would just cut and paste maybe in Photoshop. So that could use a little bit of help, but overall it's not bad. I'm gonna say 3 out of 5. I don't think it's gonna be a bestseller. You have a chance, but in my experience, soft light when it comes to food, to fruit, soft light does better. Harsh light gives you that artistic effect, that look, but as a commercial photo, I just don't, in my experience, those don't seem to sell as well as something with diffused, soft, natural light. But good job. Let's go on to the next one. All right, here we got someone fishing. There's a couple of buckets. I believe the logos have been removed, kinda, yeah. No logos. It's interesting composition. I like the windmills. If he wasn't cutting that windmill on the background, I think it would be a little bit better. Putting the fisherman on a third, maybe on this side over here where there's some space. The other lines look beautiful. Or placing the fisherman here in the middle and doing a vertical image. I think that would be good. You got all those lines, leading lines that would improve the composition with order. But overall, it's fine. I'm gonna say 3 out of 5 as far as the photograph. As far as commercial value, I don't see much. I mean, it could improve by the composition. The editing looks fine. The focus looks good. It's just the commercial value is a bit low for stock. And those leading lines, man, that would have been awesome. Look at placing the fisherman right here in the middle with those leading lines. I think that would improve the image quite a bit. Let me look at it. I don't have a camera or lens on this one. Lifestyle, things like this, they tend to sell. If you could get more interaction or just something a little bit more dramatic, maybe someone standing there, I just don't see the potential on something like that. But like I've said before, with stock, you never know. If you got a clear photo, upload it, you might sell it. Next. All right, I remember this one, beautiful photo, Canon EOS 6D, 24:105. Great settings. You can see the background, the snow. This is very tough to do, to get the snow looking white, to get the white dog on white snow, and then the girl with the hat and everything. It looks great. If anything, just a little, bring down the highlights just a little bit. You can see the snow in the background. It just looks a little bit blown out, especially with the head of the dog right here. But overall, it's a great photo, great stock photo. The interaction with the pets, maybe show the hand hugging the dog, you know, like go an extra step. I know when you're working with animals, they're not predictable. It's hard to get them to cooperate, but this one looks like it's well trained. You know, just have the girl hugging the dog, reaching the arm over. I think that would add more. And I'm sure you probably got those photos. This is just one out of the session, but it looks great. Camera settings look good. ISO 400, 1/25th of a second. Those are things you need to avoid motion blur. And no, this looks great. Great focus. Great job. 5 out of 5 on this one. To improve just a little bit, I would bring back the highlights just slightly here on the head of the dog, and that would give you, I think, a little bit more detail. Next. All right, now I think this is like ping pong or table tennis or one of those things, whatever you want to call it. There's a logo here that says India. That would have to be removed. It looks fine. As a stock photo, there's not really much happening. The lines look good, the composition looks good. It's on a third, you got some leading lines. The table has a few scratches or whatever that is. I'm gonna say 3 out of 5 as far as a photograph. For stock, I just don't know. It's more of an artistic image and not something that is selling something. Remember, stock is commercial. You want to sell a product, you want to sell an idea or a concept. And here I'm just looking at the ball, and it's hard to tell if I'm not in this industry. If it was in the industry, it probably makes sense to me, but since I'm not, it just seems like a blue table with a ball. But good photo. It's just that if you're trying to make money with stock, you need to up the game and add a concept, maybe add the racket or whatever it is, pool table, whatever you're playing, add more elements so the concept is clear. And we all know what you're talking about with the photograph. Next. Cool. Mountain peak hiking. Logos have been removed, everything except for the shoes, Fila. Everything else looks good. The mountain looks pretty, the logos have to be removed. You can see here there's a little bit of digital noise when I zoomed in. That tells me the shadows were recovered. That's because you can see the difference in light. The mountain is very bright and the foreground was probably a lot darker. And I don't have the camera settings. And then when you lift the shadows up to bring back some of the detail on the person, it creates this digital noise. But you can see the logos on the shoes, that has to be removed. Overall, it's a great image. I would say 4 out of 5 on this one. Maybe bring down the noise reduction, add a little bit more contrast just so the image itself pops. But as it is, it's a great image, great photograph. Those are very harsh conditions, very difficult when you got a bright sunlight on the mountain and then you have shadows in the foreground and where your subject is. Great composition, the lines, everything looks good. The trees are framing it. You got the V, you got lines everywhere. It's beautiful. It's just that the logos are gonna hurt you for stock, and bring down the noise a little bit with just a little bit of noise reduction. But yeah, 4 out of 5. Next, we have a flower. I know there's a lot of people that wanna do flowers. This one has a beautiful edit. Flowers are not commercial anymore. There's millions of images of flowers online. That doesn't mean you're not gonna sell them. You have a very high chance of selling it, especially if it's well composed, if it's good focus, if it's good edit. Like this one looks beautiful, Canon 90D. Great photo, great camera settings. It's a bit on the artistic side. The composition could improve because it's right in the middle. You want it on the upper third. Maybe, you know, zoom in like that. That would be a better composition in my opinion, because right in the middle, even though there's a little bit of headroom, it's almost too much headroom. And then flowers, like I was saying before, flowers are not as commercial because it's saturated market. I do sell photos of flowers, but they're not best sellers. They sell occasionally. And if this is what you want to do, then saturate the market with your flower photos, your editing style. Just do as much as you can, and then you will increase your chances. But just keep in mind that you're gonna have to do a lot and continue to do your same style so that when a buyer buys one, they might buy 10. So what did I say? I'm gonna say 4 out of 5. The only thing I would improve here is the composition, and that would make it, I think, a much more pleasing image compositionally. Does that make sense? Next, okay, now we have a glass with some lemons, limes, a wooden cutting board looking thing, and a strainer. There's a lot going on in this photo. As far as the stock photo, I don't think it's gonna get accepted. It looks more like a snapshot. The lighting is harsh. You can see the shadows. It's more of a direct light on the image, and that's just not, it's taken away from it. You see all the reflections on the wet parts of the lime and the lemon. That glare, that's from the light being dead on, a bright light with no diffuser. That will give you those highlights, that distracting beams over there. The background looks like a tile. I don't know, it's kind of soft and mushy. I don't think this is gonna get accepted for stock. The quality is not there. I'm gonna say 2 out of 5. You tried, you arranged the elements, but there is too much going on. That strainer in the background is a little distracting. The leaves, the bay leaves, like I'm not exactly sure what they are, but there's a lot. Try to simplify the concept. There's no liquid in the glass, and the focus is on the back of the glass. If it was, usually you want to focus in the front or down in the, I see that the fruit, the lemon, the slice is almost in focus, but if you focus in the front of the glass, I think it would improve this quite a bit. But the main thing here is your lighting. You need to diffuse it, throw a curtain, anything that you can get that soft light so the shadows aren't as harsh. 2 out of 5, and for stock, like I said, I don't think it's gonna do much. Next. Okay, another artistic-y looking landscape. We have a dead tree. There's a lot of colors here. There's greens and reds, and I'm not exactly sure why they're there. It looks like, it looks like digital noise. Let me look at settings here. ISO 50, it's a phone photo, that's why. It's a Huawei phone, so that's why there's different colors. The background's not crisp. Cell phone photos, again, they do good, but once you zoom in and use at 100%, once you look at the image at the actual size, you will start to see all the imperfections. So be very careful. I mean, the photo's fine. As far as the stock photo, there's not really much happening. It's just a snag with some people on bikes in the background and a trail. You need a concept, activity, someone closer to the bikes maybe, but the tree with the clouds, it looks pretty landscape. But as far as the stock photo, I'm just not seeing it. So I'm gonna say 2 out of 5. Nice composition, the tree on the side. This grass in the bottom is a little distracting. If you zoom in a little bit like that, simplify the image. Try not to get so many different colors. That dirt and whatever road or that is, it's a little distracting. A little bit closer like that, I think would improve the composition quite a bit, but it's still not really a stock photo. Great landscape. It's just not a sellable photo. Okay, next we have a guy leaving his life. He's going away. Is that a tattoo or did he hurt himself? If it's a tattoo, which I think it is because he's got 2, you have to remove them. They belong to the tattoo artist. I know some of you keep saying I keep asking for too many releases, but the artwork belongs to the tattoo artist. Some agencies are not even accepting images with tattoos because it's too complicated to keep track of model releases and art releases. But great shot. This was, I'm gonna say 4 out of 5. I'm gonna be generous. 4 out of 5. It's got a good concept. Leaving your life behind, going on to a new life. If it was going towards something, I think it'd be a little bit more of a metaphor. Or if you turned around and showed his face, I think it would be a stronger image. Like you're happy you're leaving or something. It's a good image, the composition's fine. The sky might be a little blown out, but I don't think that's an issue. Focus. Yeah, focus is, it's hard to tell. I actually don't know where the focus is. I got a small file here because of the email, and I don't know the camera or lens, but it looks good. Like I said, to add commercial value, you want to interact with the people, see their faces, try different things. Here you're leaving on the boat. If you could get them coming and going from both angles, that will tell a complete story. That would be a pretty good series of images. Next. All right, here we got mushrooms. The first thing I tell you is another cell phone image. You can see how just way too much. Way too much texture here that should not be there. And that's a phone. That is Huawei again. It just doesn't give it it looks more like a painting than a real photo. It just got way too much texture. Food photos like this sell, especially mushrooms. Are these chanterelles? I don't know, they look good. Diffusing light, the shadows are a little harsh. Add a diffuser, add a curtain. But cell phones for this, you need more light for the cell phone to work and get a clear image. That sharpness, that added texture here, that's just not gonna help you. As far as a photo, it's a good photo, good composition. I like the middle, the other one's framing it, but unfortunately it's not gonna make it. I'm gonna say 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5, because it's a good photo. It's just not a stock photo. Next, nice. That's a good shot. I've been to Santa Fe when they did the balloon fiesta thing. I've been to Arizona when they do the balloon fiestas. Very sellable images, very commercial images. I know there's millions of photographers out there, but not many are selling these images in stock. So having this great editorial, what's happening, the cars, the people, great photo. I like it. It looks a little distorted on the edges. Wide angle lenses do that. Let me look at the camera settings. F4, 3/20th of a second, ISO 400 with a drone. Wow, cool. If anything, the composition, you know, this bottom balloon here is cut off, the other one over there too, and there's a little bit of space here. That top one might be a little distracting because it's cut off as well. Turning the drone, but no, this is a great shot. I have a feeling this one's gonna do well. I'm gonna say 4 out of 5 because it does have that commercial feel, and anyone promoting an event like this could use this photo. Next, is that a seashell with that reflection? Again, looks like a phone photo. I can tell you right now from the texture. Yep, Huawei. These photos, I mean, you got a good eye, you got a good composition, you know what you're looking at. The quality of your photos is not there, and it's due to your phone. If you could get a better camera or better lighting, I think your photos would improve a lot. But the phones just don't have macro. All this is computational photography, and they're adding way too much sharpness to your photos. Good art, good artistic photo, just not a stock photo. I'm gonna say 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5, because the photo is good, the background's good. It's just not a stock photo. Next, looks like another drone shot. Look at the fields, they look good. The thing that bugs me here is the composition. I wanna see the sky because the image is leading up towards the sky and then it just cuts. If it was zoomed in, maybe like this, where you don't see the horizon, you don't see where it's gonna go, I think it would be a little bit better. But as it is, it's a beautiful photo. I'm gonna say 4 out of 5. Farmland, the lines, the composition is spot on, except for the horizon, where I wanna see what else is out there. I wanna see the sky. But no, great job. Maybe a little higher looking down. This one looks kind of cool. The speed limit 40, horse and buggy, nice. Pennsylvania, I believe. Great job. The lines, leading lines. It looks like the photo was taken through the windshield of the car, which is fine. I sell a lot of images that way. Maybe in Lightroom, add a little bit of dehaze, and that adds blacks and that brings more texture to the image. But it looks like a great editorial. I mean, it's funny. On the horse buggy here, they can only do 40 miles an hour. They got the lights, they got everything. Cool, I like it. Yeah, the poles, the lines are a little distracting, but this is something that just happened, acting that quickly. When you see something happening down the road, you gotta either stop or aim out the window. Good job. I like the curve, the line, the yellow lines are leading lines into the image. The lines on the power lines distract a little bit, but that's fine. You know, there's not much you can do. As an editorial, you're not allowed to remove them. And it has to be an editorial, but as it is, it looks cool. I'm gonna say 4 out of 5 on this one as well, and that's just because of the processing and because it's shot through the windshield of the vehicle. It would just been so much better if you're able to jump out of the car and take the photo, but that could be dangerous and not practical. By the time you see it, you get your camera, you open the door and jump out, the shot's gone. So nice job capturing this moment. Next. Okay, now we have some gourds on a very old scale. Now, I know this scale is the subject, or it seems like it's a subject because that's where the focus is. Technically, the gourds, the thing you're weighing, is your subject. The rest is props. It's adding to this. The more important thing here, in my opinion, is the food, and then everything else should be out of focus, or just slightly out of focus. That's 2 kilograms on whatever these are, the gourds. I'm gonna say 3 out of 5. Good photo. The subject is not exactly clear, and the background could use a little bit of editing. I know it's hard depending on where you shot this. You can't really go move everything if you're at a friend's store or something, but the background, the line, that's a little distracting. The main thing for me with this one is the focus. I'm just not seeing the stock value on the scale instead of the food, if that makes any sense. So I'm gonna say 3 out of 5. Next, another train. Looks like a beautiful train photo speeding through. Looks like a drone shot as well with the cornfields and the smoke. Look at the lines, the compositions are awesome. That leading line in with the curve at the end just leads right into, same with the smoke, clouds. Great shot. I don't see any identifiable markers. It looks like they might have been removed. So I'm gonna say 4 out of 5 on this one as well. No, it's got everything it needs. I'm gonna say 5 out of 5. Commercial value might be a little bit lower because there's really not much of a, maybe the concept here, the cold, the smoke, whatever the train is burning, that's a good concept. Climate change, all this stuff that we're looking at today. It looks beautiful. The corn, the rows, good job. So I'm gonna say 5 out of 5 on this one. Good edit, nice job. Next, okay, that's kind of cool. So it's a geologist with a gem flashlight on the head. Good, simple, clean, it goes right to the point. Focus looks pretty good. It's a little bit noisy. Maybe try Lightroom denoise if you have I don't have the info. If you have the raw photo, you could recover a lot of data from Lightroom denoise. But it is expected, it's low light. You have the crystal that's lit up, it looks great. That's a good mining, a good opal, or whatever you want to call these crystal things. Crystal mine. This one's also going to be a 5 out of 5 for me because of the capture, the dark background, the image has potential as a stock photo. And just as a photo, the composition is great, good image. The lighting is right where it needs to be, and the rock here just glows. Next. Okay, so now we have a landscape. It does look beautiful. I don't know what this post here is. That's a little distracting. You could remove that. And then also I would tilt the camera down a little bit to get more of the road leading towards those rocks. You have a lot of sky, but there's not much happening in the sky. There's also sensor dust here in the upper corner that needs to be removed. But that pole is a little bit in the way, and then bringing the camera down to show more of the path, I think would make a much stronger composition. As it is, it's a beautiful image. The lighting looks like it was perfect. So I'm gonna say 3 out of 5 for this one. Fix the composition. You're editing by removing lens dust or raindrops or sensor dust from there. All right, what do we have here? We got sailboats. It looks like another really cool area. There's a person there. Nice job, nice composition. I like the reflection, I like the light, how that sail reflects. Even though there's a lot of sky, maybe dropping the camera will be a little bit, but that looks good, that looks fine. As it is, 3s, great shot. I'm gonna say 4 out of 5 for this photo, just because it looks great. Sports, action, local events like this, things like this tend to sell. This is editorial, obviously, because there's logos, there's numbers. Just, you know, pay attention to your reflections next time. Bring the camera down a little bit to fill the frame with the sailboat and the reflection, and not so much of the sky. But I need to stop being as picky and give you guys more credit for your hard work, because that looks beautiful. So 4 out of 5 on this one. And it looks like that's it. That's the last photo of the day. So again, thank you very much for sending photos. If you want to send some more, there'll be an email in the video description. And remember, just 1 or 2 at most, because I have a lot of people waiting on their photo review. And once again, thank you very much for watching. If this was helpful, consider subscribing to the channel, give it a thumbs up and the bell so you can get notified every time I make a video, which is every Sunday morning. All right, thank you very much. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.